So we were introduced yesterday to Gideon. Gideon, a man called a mighty man of valor. Nowhere in the Bible is anyone else called a mighty man of valor. But as I said before, it was because God was with him. And Gideon wanted to test God to make sure that his word was truly God speaking and not his own ideas. So he put out the fleece, and as we know, he asked God to just soak the fleece and everywhere else to be dried, and that to be reversed as well, to prove that God was truly speaking to him. And it often gets us wondering that we should test everything we feel God calling us to do, we should test it. But God's ways are not our ways, because Gideon led the Israelites out of the hands of the Midianites, but it wasn't in the conventional way that we would think. Now, the Midianites outnumbered the Israelites about 5-1, but God said that there were too many Israelites. Man would get the glory instead of him. So he said, send all those who are afraid, send them home. And they did, and there were just 10,000 left then. And God said, there's still too many. Man will take great pride if they have this victory. I'm going to bring them to a place of impossibility. And he reduced them down to 300, saying that those who drink from the stream and lift the water up to their mouths instead of lapping it on their knees, take and fight. And God used 300 men. He used the remnant to deliver Israel from the hands of the Midianites. It made me think that God doesn't concern himself with numbers. So often we feel we're in the minority, in the small group, but the small groups do matter. The Bible calls them the remnants, those who are true and faithful to God, not the ideals of man, not the ways of the world, but truly listening to God and seeking him. And in leadership, Gideon was a man who led the 300 men out of that captivity. Oh, my friends, God uses the remnant, and he does extraordinary things with the remnant to those who trust in him. And I pray that we are a people who truly trust in the Lord, not looking at our circumstances, not looking at the size or the growth of our churches, but instead looking to God who does the impossible to show how awesome and wonderful he is.